Hello everybody, welcome back to another duck deception guide. Today we'll be teaching you how to beat Quacklementary Evil and beat the Jefferies. Disclaimer, from now on, all real Dread Duckies will be referenced as Jefferies. The Jefferies are the reincarnate of evil. They will constantly try and go out of the way to ruffle some feathers.
We're halfway there, love. Just 4 pieces to go. Don't disappoint me now.
Oh, Beers, go duck yourself. Picking powers is a very important part of the process. Let's get into what you need to do. All speed boost and all of teleport. So you should have enough to fill out 2 powers. Why? Why would you do telepathy?
But why? Why would you do that?
Telepathy has no purpose. Telepathy is useful to know what Jefferies are real and what are not, and kind of give you a good sense for the area so that you can prepare yourself. There's no real reason to upgrade this, especially for this level. Now that we are into Deadly Quackadence. Now that we are into Deadly Duckadence. If you open up your map, you'll notice this little side room. And from here, you can just click on this wall, and now you have your first secret. This one, if you don't get it at the very beginning, you won't be able to get it later, so make sure to get this now. There are some notes here if you want to check them out. I will not be going over them, but they have some lore significance. So, over here, you got your first red shard. Now, a big old Jeffrey is going to take you by surprise. And all you have to do is mash F as fast as you do on my YouTube videos. Now, after he grabs you, this is a very important process. Go back and open up that door. This will save you so much time on the exit sequence where you don't have to open the door for later use. So, the Jefferies have not spawned yet. They will spawn as soon as you cross this barrier. But as you can see, these doors take a long time to open.
Hello there.
So, it's kind of a good idea to open as many doors as possible. Over here we have the red shard, which is very handy. If you ever see the red shard, get it immediately. If you don't know, I speedrun this level, and this has ruined so many runs. Jefferies have set spawn locations. In order to peck the real Jeffrey, it's important to either know Jeffrey's spawn locations or use telepathy. And if you don't know them by heart, a good way to know is if there are 2 Jeffreys right next to each other. That is a good indicator on whether a Jeffrey is actually a Jeffrey. You could see it with a red shard, but you could also use telepathy. If there's ever a blocked off path, I don't recommend that you go down it. So during this time, it's really a good idea to go get a route. A route will help the ducks be predictable. I personally have a route where I want to get all the inner shards first. Take this as you will. I know that there are other routes, but these are the main ones. Also, in order to just speed up your time, whenever you activate a door, don't teleport to the door, as the water stops your acceleration, or slows down your acceleration. I recommend using teleport to get back onto dry land. Sadly, you cannot duck under the doors. Now, you could always use telepathy. Now, even if you know the spawn locations, telepathy is still very useful. Telepathy gives you a good idea of where Jefferies are and where they're hiding, so that you don't get cracked. So, here's your first secret. It is an obvious keypad that you can interact with, but a good tip is you could activate it from the back and continue collecting soul shards. This will help on any speed run, on anything that you choose to do. But here is your first secret. Now, as you can see, there are 2 Jefferies right next to each other. You can use telepathy to know, but a good indicator is if there are 2 or more in the row. There are only a couple of exceptions to this. So when you have to activate a Jeffrey, it's a good idea to just run by. If a Jeffrey is ever in your path, just wing it. Their activation will always start with a grab, and then he'll start running. And even the activation happens very later. Now, as long as you aren't in the Jeffrey's line of sight, it will not continue to chase you. So, if I use telepathy, we can know the good ducks versus the bad ducks. Now, you can use the stun orb, but as you can tell, I just run through them. Running through does take a bit of bravery, but it speeds up your run tremendously. And I also recommend, as soon as you have speed boost available, use it to break those barriers. Okay, now if you're ever chased by a Jeffrey and you're stuck, look back and just teleport around them. they work as enemies, so teleport always works. They'll get quite flustered. They'll get quite feathered. They're just idiots, okay? Now, as you can kind of see, I kind of got a good 5. I got a good 5 Jefferies after me. But they cannot catch up with you. Even in the water, your running speed is faster than a Jeffrey. Okay. That scared me. Now you'll know when you're done with the run when you get 191 shards. That is how many shards left in the map after Zone 1. So, now let's enter this definitely not a boss room, but definitely not a boss room for any type of boss room. Zone 2 is very different from Zone 1, and by different, I mean literally nothing's changed. So, I'd usually like to start off with telepathy. So, here, we got 2 ducks in a row. I can teleport past and be absolutely fine. On these side rooms, it's a great idea to use telepathy. This will give you an idea of how many ducks are in these rooms. They can range from 1 to 2. And as you can tell, it's hard to avoid. But yeah, you could just teleport past them too. Now, as you can see, I'm kind of teleporting around places where I know Jefferies can spawn. So that guy is a Jeffrey. He's also kind of on his lone self, and he's near a soul shard. That's another good way to know. It's always a good idea to open doors that you'll have to go to later. In these rooms, it's a good idea to just get as many soul shards as possible, but also use telepathy to get a good heads up of where all the duckies are. A helpful tip is that you never actually want to be stuck at a door. You always want to be opening another door by the time when one door is opening. So here's the red shard. As I can tell, if you're going for S rank, you need to just get this right away. Now these traps activate the exact same time as the Deadly Decadence traps, which if you check out my previous guide, you should have mastered by now. So here's the second secret, as I taught you. Just open it from the back and jump down. After a certain amount of time after the first grab, the Jeffrey will stop. What in the ever-loving? So here's your final secret. It's right in front of you. You can get this first or last depending on how quickly you want to get through the secrets. So this part of the run is super important. You must do the Dread Ducky dance when you get this secret. This will guarantee your S rank. This is like the final stop. This is how you get it. So here you want to leave 1 shard. So as you can tell, I use telepathy. I see the duck. Now it can be a little hard to see, but just teleport around. Even if you activate him and you have to whir around them, that's fine. Look, he's activated. Doesn't matter. He's not faster than I am. So here's the final hurrah. We're at the last 18 shards. Now he stopped chasing me, and here is the scary part. So after they stop chasing you and they can't see you for a while, they're gonna respawn. Now this is where knowing spawn locations is good, because they will always respawn in one of those respawn locations. And if you happen to be in one of those, then you're ducked.
Surprise, motherfucker!
So here are the final 3 shards. Just down here. So, a good tip to know about the Jefferies. They will not respawn in the direction that you're looking. If you're looking at a respawn location or them, they will not respawn. But they will always respawn to the closest location to you. And this way, you can look back, and there you go. He wasn't there before, he just respawned. There will be a little splash idle animation so that you will know when they respawn. But a good idea is to use this mechanic to get them to respawn in a location that there are no shards and that you will not have to return to. That way, they are not a big nuisance. So here's the last Dread Ducky. We could just quickly surpass him. Both of them. And teleport. When you grab the last shard, it's important to look behind you. This will trigger Malik. Malik will spawn right behind you in the direction that you're facing. And Now you have the ring piece. So, here is your first boss fight. Gerald is not very hard. That is his name, Gerald. So, just stand behind a pillar. After he throws 3 ducks, then he will try to launch his face at you. And just don't stand still and you should be fine. But, a good thing to know is after you turn the first pillar, one Jeffrey will spawn, and he'll just chase you around. He's not that threatening. Just don't stand too close to a pillar, because apparently there's this glitch where he'll phase through it, So, if you happen to cross this line right here, right before these pillars, he'll laugh, and then he'll try to grab you. Don't stay in the same area as you were, and try to back up. That's your best way to avoid the grab. There you go, there's the third one. Now after this turn, a second Jeffrey will spawn and cause your life to be a living headache. The best way to do this, to avoid him, is to run and try and get them all the Jeffreys behind you. That way you can definitely line it up. If you're always moving sideways, you should not be get hit by any of those ducks that he throws to stun you. Now, after you're done, here comes the escape sequence. Now, I would use speed boost and teleport for this. This is why you want to max out teleport. It gives you a bit of extra distance, and speed boost helps you just get to the exit. You cannot do this without using powers, so just use all your powers immediately. Also, when the door's reopening, make sure to do like a little run around, because the acceleration won't change, and this will save you a bit of time. So as you can tell, I open up the door, do a little donut circle, whatever you want to call it. A donut, a poo, and just use speed boost. You'll know which exits to go for. Even the duckies can't kill you, but any one of them without a Jeffrey there. Now, here comes your biggest challenge yet. The final Jeffrey of them all. The King of Jefferies. He just got quacked. And there you go, there is your escape. Now, right here, you got 22 minutes. You could do it even faster if you really go for it. But hopefully this helped you beat Duckly Decadence. This is not actually a very hard level. Teleport really makes this insane. If you happen to have Primal Fear, you are actually unstoppable. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video and it really helped you out, make sure to quack that subscribe button and quack that like button. It really helps me out. Make sure to insult Jeffrey in the comments below, and I will pin the best Jeffrey roast that I see. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!